to talk about this. Another thing we have in common. You know, we're Subi sisters.
Oh, really?
Yes, bro. I got the Wilderness edition.
Oh,
and
I wanted that shit so.
your phone holder is a Boston Terrier, which was the kind of dog Arthur was. Too. This is fucking.
I miss Arthur so
Everyone can
much.
hear this.
Oh, are we just going? Hell yeah, fuck it. I miss Arthur so much.
Ah, me too, dog. Me
yeah.
fucking too.
Oh, what's up, y'all? Welcome to our relationship pod with Iffy and Emmy. Talking way too much as always is Iffy Wadyway, and I'm joined by my lovely partner.
Emily Louise.
And we are also joined by one of my funniest friends, great guy. Look, I saw
This big fucking TV screen of us is going to be distracting.
Yeah, look.
Two good-looking people.
Yeah, that's like that is my favorite where you can just flex. Yeah, look at that.
Earthquake on Long
I
Island.
can't get it so shredded. You know, it's like I'm so hope. But yeah, so the way we start the pod off is we do a check-in where you can talk about something you're excited about, something that has happened that you were excited about, or like something that's going on, you know.
Interesting. Okay, not to be so on the nose masculine, but one thing I'm excited about currently is the upcoming New York Giants season as a depressing version of masochism that being a Giants fan has been for about 10 years since we won a Super Bowl. I'm excited to see what Dart and Scattaboo and the new coach can pull together.
I just love...
It was either that or Chris Nolan movie, so I'm just being the most stereotypical het guy here.
Yeah, look, it's all good because... I was going to say, I love like a fucking nickname. I love giving them, like, M hates that I call Massachusetts the Chutes, but Josh Gondelman fucks with it, so that's basically the mayor.
I don't understand why he gets to be the mayor of Massachusetts.
Because he reps Boston. You're like, I'm from Renfield.
Well, I am from Brimfield.
Exactly.
Which is in Massachusetts. But Boston and Massachusetts are different.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's like Manhattan and Binghamton are very different.
But yeah, no, it's I like love like people have been calling him Scat Pack, and then I feel like every clip of him that comes across my page, I'm like, I like this guy. I fuck with his energy. I'm all about it.
I don't even care. Like, the Giants don't have to be good. They just have to be exciting. And this is like Dart and him seem to be the first time we've had any excitement besides like Sexy Dexy on the D line. Yeah.
Well, that's
Dexter Lawrence, big ass beefy dude who fucking drops the hammer and he dances and he calls himself Sexy Dexy. So he became a rapid
himself that.
Yeah, well, I think everyone does now, but he might have started it. Yeah.
I'm pulling it up for M, but also like I love that like we're in this like, you know, phase of like, you know, notoriety where like if someone goes into our niche, you know, we can befriend them, you know, like
This is my favorite.
Yeah, this is the dance.
Oh yeah, that's Sexy Dexy dropping it low.
Yeah, but like if someone does anything nerdy, then guess what? Now I can get in contact with you.
Right. Well, there is like it's like a connection. It like there's like when I learned that Vin Diesel played D&D like 20 years ago. It like blew my mind, and I was like, if I ever meet Dominic Toretto, I'm gonna ask him what class do you play, bro?
And I'm going to call him Dominic Toretto.
Familia.
Well, it was like the best thing was like when I saw you with Maddie Matheson, I was like, this is a friendship I need to have, and I don't.
I didn't see that. I'm so jealous.
I was like, I don't care. I text. I was like, I need this friendship to happen.
Yeah, it's rare that there's a celebrity that exists or a person that people know that exists that I'm like, I think we'd actually be tight. And it happened before with Stavros. Other people were going like, you two need to meet. Then we meet, and it's like, oh, we actually do get along swimming. Like, people were right. Yeah. And they said the same thing about Maddie Matheson. And then when we met, we were like, okay, we get it. We're fucking giant, loud food freaks. He's just skilled at food. I'm skilled at consuming it.
Yes.
That's my speciality.
Oh. Yes, go for it.
We've been playing Resident Evil on stream.
Oh, yeah.
And it is so fun.
It's there's a new one that just came out, right?
Yeah, it is.
High def in a way that it makes it way more scary.
It is like...
I haven't played RE since 1.
Oh, no, it's changed.
And it was 1 was scary.
And this one is like, they really give you the best of both worlds because like in the kind of newer Resident Evils, like before we got to 7, which was the one in that creepy ass house.
Which is so scary.
Like 6, the biggest argument was like, it's more action than horror. Like we want to go back to the horror. And so they did that. And this one you get both because you're either the worst FBI agent in the world named Grace, who like literally
bad at her job.
Literally when you're
Shocker.
walking, all you hear is
it's like shaking because she's nervous.
Yeah, it was like, dog, you are FBI, and when you play as her, it's in first person mode. So you're navigating around first person in the dark.
Your hands are shaking, she's breathing really heavy, so it's already, before there's anything freaky, you're just like, oh my God, what?
Oh, that's unsettling, yeah.
And then you...
Hands shaking, breathing heavy, mom spaghetti.
Literally.
And some stuff does look like mom spaghetti.
Yeah. Then you go to Leon S. Kennedy, who's like from Resident Evil 2, who's like the guy who had the like blue suit with the vest.
Hot anime man.
And now he's in third person mode. You are not scared. You are just killing zombies.
And you flip-flopping back between them?
Between them.
Or is it for 2-player co-op?
No, it is between them as you bounce between stories. So you go from being scared of everything to being like a zombie comes at you with the chainsaw, you parry it with the axe and take it from the zombie and kill them. And you're like, this is kind of tight and I needed this.
I kind of really like the idea of a game that has 2 different POVs too.
Yeah.
A first and a third is a really game changer. And it lets you have the scary side and the action side, which is so smart. That's cool.
And they are both scary. And we just got to a point where they flip, and where the girl was is the scary part, and now he's in there, and we don't know what happens.
But I'm also less scared because I'm like, I got that thing on me. Like, he's
we'll see.
Roundhouse kicking.
We've heard that before.
Yeah, we'll see. I watched him. I'm not gonna spoil it, but he single-handedly like takes care of something that was a big problem from the other POV, and I'm like, all right.
He gained my trust.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna. I didn't say my thing, huh? I didn't say. Yeah.
I just also got excited about Resident Evil.
I know. I guess it was. Yeah, it's super fun. Yeah, I think right now, we're getting into April, which is I'm super fun for it to be spring. Get out there. We're getting
get the titties out.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't gonna say that, but you're right. I should. The sundress season. Everything's feeling good, but also the tour is up. We're rollicking. I mean, the South Run. I'm super excited because I'm doing Lafayette, New Orleans, and then Mobile, Alabama, which I haven't been to Mobile. Have you been to Mobile, Alabama?
No, I've only ever been to Birmingham. That was it.
Birmingham?
It was cool.
Okay.
I spent only 36 hours there, but the bar I went to was fucking awesome.
Yeah, okay.
And the people were cool.
Which is kind of like what you're
I'm doing the run. I'm trying to see if I could get to New Orleans just a little bit earlier because I got family out there and I can just drive to Lafayette.
Oh, cool. What club are you? Oh, you're not doing. Are you doing a club in New Orleans or just
I'm
Lafayette?
doing Howlin' Wolf.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's
so fun.
Yeah, Howlin' Wolf's a fun spot too.
I fucking love New Orleans.
Oh, it's just when I go there, I'm like, oh, this is why I'm the way I am. Like, this is my mom's
100%.
side injected in me. You're just eating, drinking, having a good time.
Yeah, it kind of it was a place I didn't know about when I was younger. And then when I arrived there, I was like, why do I feel so at home? It's the veil between the real world and the afterworld or whatever, the underworld is very thin there.
Oh, yeah.
The food is awesome. The vibes are awesome. Everyone's kind of look, we're all pretty fucked up all day long. Don't stress about anything.
Yeah.
And you have to, I'm sure you've done it, but Erin Rose Cafe's frozen Irish iced coffee is the best alcoholic beverage in America. And I think about it, it's one of those drinks that comes up in a dream every once in a while.
I haven't had it.
I will follow up so hard. Erin Rose Cafe, everyone should try it if you're in the New Orleans. When you get there. It's a hangover annihilator. They put a little floater of Jameson and then sprinkle coffee grinds on top. It's fucking awesome.
Jameson.
Oh, you'll love it when it's frozen with coffee.
I used to love it, and nothing happened. I didn't have I can never drink this again, but I smelled it one day and went, nope.
Wow. Yeah, that's your taste buds adjusting to, poison is not good for you.
Okay, but I love Malort, so I don't think so.
No, never mind. Yeah, I love Malort. I drink Windex. It's never mind. Loving Malort is gross, and this is coming from someone who drinks Jaeger as culturally.
I never said I was a role model.
No.
All right, so before we jump into the internet's mess and start going wild there, we're going to start off with one of our listeners from the mess hall. They send us a question in, and we have a new email. And yeah, acquaintance sent one in. Newer to the pod, but longtime M and Iffy enjoyer. Before I start, I want to say I've been loving the pod and have been finding each episode extremely insightful and hilarious. I, 22 non-binary, am looking for some advice on 2 topics. P.S. I'm still catching up on the pod and apologize if these topics have already come up. Even if it came up, this is for you. The first is navigating friends with benefits. I recently started hanging out with a guy I met last year on a dating app, again after we had a brief falling out. We have since resolved the issue and both agreed that while we don't want to pursue a committed relationship, we'd like to be friends with benefits. I've always been on board with the idea of friends with benefits, but it would be my first time actually giving it a shot. I want to be successful as possible with this, as I really enjoy this person's company, even outside of the intimate part of the relationship. Any advice on how to navigate the world of hooking up with the homies? My second ask was, as a younger person, how can I start better understanding kink and the kink community and exploring that as a personal interest? It's something that was destigmatized in my house growing up, but feels daunting to get educated and immersed as a newbie and young adult. Any advice on recommended resources would be awesome. Again, thanks so much. Okay, I think we'll start with friends with benefits because I feel like that's easy.
Yeah, I feel like I can chip in there. Later on, I'm going to be like, and tell me more about the kink. I'm going to be listening like acquaintances. Well, like, are big naturals a kink?
Kind of,
The way I like them? Yeah.
Well, like friends with benefits, I think, the way I always say is like, make sure like the friend part is secure, and also just be talking, like truly just be talking like this, like friends with benefits. In my head, everyone's like, oh my God. I'm like, no, it's like easier though. Usually, like to me, it's like when you go, when you ask a homie to move, like everyone hates it, but we know it's like cool and you're going to give me some pizza.
Right.
All right, bet.
So you're saying have sex with them and then buy them pizza?
Yeah.
I'm saying have sex with them after you help them move.
Yeah, after you have to move.
You know what?
Got this bed set up.
Yeah. We might as well test it out. Give it an old spin. But yeah, I think, I think it is exactly what it sounds like, and just like making sure there's communications, because I feel like, like the hardest part about the friends with benefits side of things is I think that sometimes there's like some wires crossed when's like a good off-ramper if you feel comfortable doing it. And like, but I've had like friends who like, it's just ongoing and we just check in. And I think the easier helps is usually when it's like upfront, like especially if it's like a friend who's from out of state. I'm like, yo, I'm coming through. And they're like, okay, well, like, I'm currently seeing someone right now. So it's like going to be platonic. You're like, bet, say less. And then we're friends.
Yeah. Well, I think if you switch the word benefits with like basketball team, billiards player, fellow D&D player, it's all the same rules. Friends comes first. Mm-hmm. And if it's a real friend, you're upfront and real about them. And I think like you cannot get caught slipping if you're always just completely casual, like completely real in all your conversation. That's the power of friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of when you're in a real courting phase, there might be some misrepresentation just to be like, but with your
putting my best self forward. But
if you're friends first, it's like that's the move. Is be like, I'm not looking for anything serious. This is it. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. I think that's why people get situationships and friends with benefits confused, because I think that people think that like, oh, if it's friends with benefits, it's like, oh, we're friends. And like, yeah, you have to be cultivating the friendship though. Because if you're just calling me at 3 a.m., like, we're not friends. We're just fucking. That's a situationship.
Yeah. It's also a totally okay relationship. But then you're not friends.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
if you only call your friend from basketball team to play basketball,
like,
and then it's not a friend, it's a basketball guy.
Oh, that's a really good analogy. Holy shit. Like, the more you use it, I'm like, that's the thing.
Yeah, because I think people are like, oh, we're friends, so I can't go out and do things that are like date-esque. And I'm like, because then they're going to think we're dating. I'm like, no, you've already established that you're friends with benefits, and you go out to dinner with your friend.
I go out to the movies one-on-one with a guy all the time, like with a gal, whoever. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. It's like, so it's like, it's very easy. I think that's the only sole fear and what gives people that apprehension with friends with benefits is like, what if someone catches feelings? And I was like you said, as long as you're being like honest and like,
and you're prepared for your friend's honesty as well.
Yes, exactly.
That's kind of the hard part too, because it's easy to be honest, and be like, I'm catching feelings, but it's hard to hear, I'm sorry, I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. So just know that that is a potential thing.
Like, I'm going to quit the basketball team.
Yeah.
Hey, we can still be friends though.
Yeah.
We're gonna be on separate sides of the
And then who knows? Maybe after this rec league you joined, you want to come back and play with the old hoops. Let's go. Yeah, I'm around. Yeah.
That is the part. As far as like kink, I feel like the reason it, like, you know, like so many kinky people also play like D&D and shit is like, it's just that much like reading and prep.
Right.
Like I feel like it seems very daunting because it is like this whole lifestyle that no one really ever talks about, that everyone kind of keeps it in a wrap, so it seems scary. I think the easiest thing you can start doing is, and it's so funny because if you've been listening to this episode from the beginning, the way we've kind of felt about this site has like morphed, and I think we still feel the same, but we've seen its value in having these conversations. Going to FetLife, because if you're on FetLife is like a social media site for kinky people.
And when we were talking about websites earlier, it looks exactly how it did in 2006.
Yeah. I miss Mid-Aught's website.
They have updated 1 ounce of HTML on that website.
It is like literally the same, but
and I will be going on it later today, but I'm just curious. Talk me through it a little bit
So you come in and like you like really like you don't have, it's just like social media where you don't have to put, like you don't have to put much about yourself on there. Like I have my Facebook because I learned like you can hide certain pictures behind like friends only, and I was like, okay, then that's where the real can come out. But I still don't like fully interact because I'm like, you know, I don't need a screenshot of me being like, so when I'm using the ass pounder 5000, you know?
but you could like lurk and see what other people are into and kind of like see what community. Holy shit, a lot of people are into this thing that I think I might be casually into, and that's kind of like there
are community tabs where it's like, this is where I live. Here's people posting all the events.
Oh, we're doing this, and
it's not even necessarily kink, like, oh, we're all going to an orgy. It's like, hey, we're all meeting up at this bar. We're all going to talk about this thing, and then you can just meet people in your community that you're trying to get into in a situation that isn't as scary.
Yeah, but also, just like you were saying, like, as far as kinks go, on your profile, you can, it's like what I'm into, what I'm not into, what I
I'm
love.
looking for.
And like, you can type all of those in and then click it and just see all of it. So if you're like, ooh, I'm curious about Shibari, you click Shibari and it's going to show you everyone's Shibari's posts that are public, everyone talking about it because people can.
Cincinnati Shibari community, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, maybe I'll meet up for rope play or whatever.
But I think the best way to kind of like get inundated is like doing this, finding a local munch and like actually talking to people. Because I think that as far as like things to like read online that really helps with it, it really, they're not, because it's so bespoke.
I was gonna say, it's so specific.
It's like that, it's very hard to read it, and it's very like, I think BDSM is funny in the way that it's like, the line between like hot and cringy in BDSM is so thin, and the demarker of that line is whether or not you're into the person delivering the information.
Right.
So like, you know, like it'll be funny when like
someone that looks like you can say something to me, and someone that could say the same exact thing in a fedora, and I'll be like, get away from me.
But it's so funny because it's like, I think a lot about, I don't know if you've been seeing those reels of those like deep voice black unks who's like, when you come over my house, I need you to spread it wide open so I can eat. And it's all these young kids where it's like, Unc, what are you doing? Unc, what are you doing?
All these aunties
you look at all the aunties are like, I'm coming up. Be hungry.
I'm a cook for you.
And that's what I mean by like how bespoke it is. So like, it's very easy to like.
Well, because you're getting into, and I'm not as versed in this, but you're getting into.
The only one wearing a BDSM shirt.
I know. But to be fair, it's for battles, dragons, swords, and magic.
There's those and those.
No, wait, hold on. FetLife.com/Uncle Gabrus. But you're getting into a thing of like, I need the crossover of like, because I like X, but I also need it to be with possibly with someone I'm attracted to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now you need like two things to cross over where you're going to be like, wow, I'm attracted to this person, but they're not into shibari, or like this shibari person creeps me out. This person and so
it's going to be all of that, and then sometimes there's just going to be the opposite where it's like, oh, I'm not attracted to this person, but I like how skillful they are.
Yeah.
And I don't, because it's like BDSM isn't inherently sex, right? And I think, it's so funny. I've been thinking about this. There's someone on Field who like annoyed me because they put pleasure dom in quotes. And then like I've since kind of like got the idea. And then I was watching Reflective Desires and I was like, oh, I really kind of see it.
That's a porn site.
Okay.
But it's all like leather latex stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's because inherently like a lot of men in the BDSM space, they directly connect sex and BDSM.
Which is crazy because so many people that I've dated that are men and in kink spaces, they are the least interested in having sex. They are mostly interested in the thing that they are looking for.
Yeah, but it's like...
Because I guess this is me being like unfamiliar with this space.
Yeah.
I connected immediately to sex in my mind. And it's like, of course, that's not, it's like, it's part of it.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes people like, I've done scenes with people that are like, we're not doing any like sex
is
stuff.
not on the table.
We're just, I just need you to like beat my ass. I need you to like, and so it's like.
So at that point, is it still for the pursuit of arousal? Or is it more like this dance, this interaction is fun for me, and I get something from it, you get something from it. But
also release.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, because sometimes it is like a thing where it's like, oh, even though we're not having sex, this is gonna arouse me. And I think that can happen both ways. Or it's like a thing where it's like, release, where it's like, oh, this just like, makes me like feel calm, or this is like almost like in the same sense, like almost like a massage.
I was just going to say, not to oversimplify, but like a massage can be really sexy, or it can be like, thank God my back hurts less.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because I was like, there's a thing called subspace. I don't know if you're familiar. It is a thing where the submissive, they basically hit some kind of like euphoria in their brain, and it's like drugs. Where it's like, oh, my brain is off. I am like completely just docile, and that
in the sub-flow state.
Yes. Where it's like, oh, that's the thing that they're looking for. It's not necessarily sex. It's like that release and letting go of all that stress and like anxiety, and you're just like mush.
Right, yeah, because I mean, I'm old classic, uncle hetero here. And it's like, it took me forever to realize that like dancing without the pursuit of pussy could be fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like for me, I was trained on like the reason you dance is so you can eventually hook up with a chick.
Yeah.
And then
like
also
like birds.
Yeah, and then you then you like pull away from that and you're like, sometimes I just have fun dancing. And then you're like, okay, I've now separated those. They are not exactly, it's not foreplay always. So, now I can dance with my homies.
So the sole reason I was able to pull away from that is because I was going to these clubs in Orange County, like in the early aughts, like I was just like 18 and up clubs. And it was right in that like step up era. So like I was like going there, yes, to peacock, but the dancing was like you got served choreographed style.
Oh hell
so
yeah!
So like there was the fun in that, but
not very sexual.
Yeah. But then you're
you are
like,
in a boy band now.
But you're like, maybe somebody will see me doing this, and then they want to holler at me.
Yeah, I mean, I've been grinding since the early '90s, so that's why they were attached to sexuality for sure. Yeah,
Look,
it's like my first 11 erections were at dances.
I was like, wedding must have been confusing for you.
Like, what's going on?
By the way, if you and I rehearsed some choreo and showed up to a club and just two big boys cutting it off, that would be fun.
To do that as a bit.
I'm also going to come for research.
I think a lot of people will be coming.
What I really want to learn more than anything, and ever since I saw it, like, you remember that meme where Jared Leto's at that fashion show and he sees the
green coat that he eventually wears?
Yeah, that he eventually wears, but his face in it where he's like, he's like, oh yeah, bro's gonna buy this. Like, that was me watching Magic Mike XXL. That dance he does with the mirror, I was like, I need specifically a white guy so we can do that dance, because I was like, that's part of the element, is that it's a white dude and black dude. Like, this is solving racism.
Hear me out. I'm about to turn 40, and that is my birthday present. Yeah. I'm just gonna watch that.
I think my agility and my mobility would surprise everybody. Although I personally like the Joe Manganiello convenience store dance from Magic Mike XXL. Oh, yeah. That's one of the several moments in my life that had me Googling what the Q in LGBTQ is. I'm like, I'm not fully B, but...
This is me.
Yeah. Look, I'm a lowercase q.
Yeah. Hey, Henry Cavill in Mission Impossible made me hard. Am I gay?
We call that heteroflexible, baby.
Yeah, I think that.
But yeah, I think the only way to do it is to just get into it, and you don't have to fully jump into the pool. You can start at a munch. You can start,
What's a munch?
A munch is pretty much like a lunch where a bunch of meet and greet where a bunch of kinky people have, and there's no sex or party. It's just so you can meet other people in the community.
Yeah, and then get contact info, or take it from there. Yeah, that's cool.
Sure, if you look hot at the munch, you might get some numbers.
Also, I think being open with yourself and other people about what you think you are into, what you'd like to try, and then if you realize you are not into it, telling them immediately.
Yeah, I think both parties would appreciate that.
Yes.
I don't think anyone gets let down once you're all tied up, being like, I don't know if this is for me, and the tire's like, come on.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I don't want to do something for someone who's not into it, unless that's their kink. But then that's got to be explained. Oh,
yeah.
I can't handle all this.
Consensual non-consent's a different thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yeah, thank you for that question. I hope it helped.
Good luck out there, Queens.
So now we're about to jump into the Reddit.
And I picked this one specifically for you.
It was this is a Gabrus one I've picked.
Now I'm really curious because I'm curious what kind of vibes.
Wild.
It's just nuts.
I'm gonna just read you the title, and it'll let you know. Buckle up. Male 28, found out my girlfriend, female 20, has been using meth for 20 years.
No,
for 2 years.
Oh,
2 years. Yeah.
No, she's only 20.
Yeah, for 2 years. I started dating my girlfriend in December. We met online and took things really slow for a while. We live about an hour away from each other. This has been really nice for me because I'm a flight student and a truck driver, so therefore I'm gone 4 to 5 days a week. I spend most of the entire time I am home at her place or mine. On our first date, she told me she lived on the streets for the last year and had to use some hard drugs with her ex-boyfriend, with her ex-boyfriend. She said she was 6 months clean and that it was something she only did because she was around that stuff so much. Fast forward to Valentine's Day, we're having a great evening, really connecting emotionally, and I asked her sort of casually about some of that stuff. I asked her how she was doing with it all. Then she told me the truth, that she was using meth every day that we weren't together. She expressed her gratitude that she even in a place to start doing it less and less, and that before she started dating me, she would have never missed a single day. But since started seeing each other and spending days on end together, it helped her realize she didn't want to live that way anymore. Since V-Day, she started a pretty nice job and says she hasn't used in 3 weeks. Her relationship with her family is improving too. And she is excited about a lot of stuff, like going to tech school, that I've never heard her get excited about. I am really starting to have strong feelings for her, but I'm worried about the future because of this problem. What do you do? What do I do? What do is what he said.
Yeah, what do?
What it do? What it do?
This must be, no, he's 28. I was going to be like, sounds like a millennial. What do?
Also, this update wasn't here when I did this morning.
Oh, amazing. This is wild because at first you'd think, oh man, it's wild that she was doing meth for 2 years. But this would also put so much pressure on me. It was like, hey, I was on the streets doing meth, but since dating you, I've stopped.
I feel great.
I know.
Well, I would feel like if my partner said to me, like, whenever we're together, I don't do this drug that ruins your life, I'd be like, do you want to hang out again on Monday?
Exactly.
Like, you feel the desire to be like, what about Tuesday through Friday? Maybe crash here again.
What about you hop in this truck with me?
Yeah, let's go driving.
Yeah.
Well, let's be truck drivers. There's no meth in that world.
Yeah, and also, it's like, obviously this is a thing that, I think the simple thing is, making sure that she's seeing a professional doing things like that. There's a very clear, out of our, pay grade answer for this. But I do want to point out something that has stuck out to me from the moment I started reading. Is this fucking guy trying to be John Candy? Why are you learning to plane, train, and automobile? He's like, I'm a flight student and a truck driver. Dog.
Well,
Leave some jobs for the rest of us.
my question is, I feel like even though you're gone, you would probably notice if your partner was doing meth.
You should maybe notice. And no,
Especially because meth stinks.
but
Oh,
people are good at hiding their shit too.
Yeah.
Like that's something you learn as friends of addicts. You go like, holy shit, I had no idea. Yeah.
That was the saying. And it's so funny. I think our age group, our high school experience, and let us know to all the Gen Z and Gen Alpha pots and pans are the or listeners to TV Chef Fantasy, but the mess hall. Let us know because I remember when Euphoria came out. And all these like Gen Zers were like, high school wasn't like that. They weren't doing drugs. I was like, oh, they were doing drugs.
Yeah, but it didn't look pretty like that.
It was
No.
they
People
were
were in the
doing
woods.
No.
like
I would kill to have a Hunter Schafer friend that was doing drugs. All my friends are fucking. I had like, I would say a dozen kids. My school graduated 250 people.
Oh,
and
that's like me.
A dozen kids died of overdoses before 4 years after school, if not a couple in school. Like
Whoa.
that shit was big in the 90s. You know.
Did you also live in Broomfield, Massachusetts?
No, I lived on Long Island, which is pretty similar. I have a feeling in the northeastern, lower to middle class vibe of like we can get drugs. These are sick.
Yeah, we're also in the woods. That's it.
Yeah.
We're gonna go do drugs.
Yeah.
In the woods, see what happens.
we're out here. They were doing like meth and they called it crystal. They'd be like, oh, you want some crystal? I'm like, nah, dog. I'm playing with zip zaps that I spent my lunch money on. I bought it. I spent all my lunch money one week to get X mods, which were the RC cards you can upgrade and make them look like tuner cars. And I was like, oh, this is why I didn't have sex till I was 18.
Okay, well, I also didn't, but I did do meth once.
This is so fun to hear because I had sex when I was 16, and I'm talking to.
I had sex when I was 18, but I did meth once, and I did not know because a 28-year-old man that I was hanging out with as a teenager, also questionable, handed me a bowl of weed, and I did it. I was like, oh, I feel crazy. He's like, oh yeah, there was crystal meth sprinkled on the top.
Oh, I will tell you the amount of times I smoked something, trying to smoke weed, and someone gave me something that was laced.
Yeah.
And the noun they used for what it was, I never heard before. Like, oh, that's got that boom bat in that. Be careful. I'm like, you need to tell me if that's an amphetamine or hurry up. And they're like, and it's just this dude. He's like, bro, it's the boom bat. And I'm like, I smoked boom bat?
I'm like, what is that?
I'm like, so I think I've smoked dust and meth a few times because of that.
That is like, it's so funny because that's been my biggest fear. And the only place I could probably source having that fear is Friday, you know?
Yeah, right.
Because I'm like, every time, like, I would just, like, if someone passed me, they're like, what was in it? What was in it? Because, like, to me, I'm just like, I've always been a large, excitable dude. So it's not even been like, it's always been like, I'm a guy who shouldn't be on coke. Like, I don't want to meet coke iffy.
Oh no, I'm very familiar with that energy as well.
Yeah.
For some weird reason. Also, I learned at an early age through the pop culture that coke killed all my heroes. Like, if you're a fat comedian, it just took you out at some point.
Yeah.
I said to my friend Annie Letterman, I'm like, I don't do coke because like it killed like Farley and Belushi and all these guys. She's like, don't worry, you're not successful enough to die. And it's so hard. I was like, yeah, I guess there is a fundamental difference between me and Farley. You know what? Fucking pass the coke.
You gotta cut it off right where your career starts taking off. You're like, all right, I gotta stop.
I gotta quit. I gotta start taking this seriously.
Gotta turn into The Rock.
But I would say after what you said of like, do all the business stuff, make sure she's got someone she could talk to, a program or whatever. But there's also the power of like, you gotta forgive someone for their past if you want to be with them in the future too.
You definitely can't be, because it seems like this person is moving out of that. You know?
For the guy's sake and for the lady's sake, you kind of need to go like, look, I know what your past was. You know what your past was. You're trying to move past it. I'm not going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at you as the present person you are, not the past person you are. Now, that being said, let's not slip back into that past. But like, you know, you have to, if you're going to make this move, you gotta do like the full blown, forgiveness is not the right word here. Forget it is not the right word.
But like just a fresh start of this person. Like
New
you have
chapter.
to meeting them where they're at. You know,
Right,
It's like,
yes.
Like, where's here? Like, yes, this is because I get that too, because I'm like, yeah, there was like an element too where
Unhoused. Drugs to cope.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm glad you have cultivated a relationship where she felt comfortable being honest with you.
Yeah, that's a good sign, for sure.
Because like when people are hiding things from you, that's when it gets.
Especially on Valentine's Day, you're like, oh yeah, I should let you know that I have been doing meth when you're not here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like he should be honored that she felt comfortable enough to share that, and she's clearly doing that for a reason too, which is very. This is some mature ass shit for a 28-year-old and a 20-year-old to be dealing with.
Yeah, well, that's doing. So it's like the update had that came after you grabbed this. Goes, thanks for all the responses. I really do appreciate the advice you are all sharing. Our age difference seems to be a sticking point for some people, and to them, I would say, I respect your opinion. I do not share it, however, and it doesn't seem like many of you have the experience with it in reality anyway. Damn! It was like, clack, clack. My parents...
Haven't seen a woman, fuck you.
Yeah, it is Reddit, right? He could be right.
Our parents are 10 years apart, and my girlfriend's parents were 8 years apart. I've dated women that are older than me and women that are the same age as me. Things work/don't work for a lot of reasons, so I don't know. It just seems to be a big deal to either of us. Either way, thank you for sharing your opinions or advice. I have no idea what's going to happen here, so maybe I'll follow up in a few months or something.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I like this dude's attitude.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I mean, this seems like, a real chill dude. Like he's trying to get his pilot license, he's driving a truck, and he's like trying to be there for his partner.
Those are long hours on the stick, both of those jobs.
I know. He's like, I'm gone, Oh, man. I went to see if there's any other post by him, and the only other post by him is on the Cadillac subreddit where he posted a bicentennial, and this thing looks tight as hell.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, at least we know he's black now.
Nah, these are Utah plates.
Never mind. Yeah, no. If he is, he's the one black guy. We probably get his name.
So we talked about Utah 2 weeks ago, and what was crazy, and I didn't talk about it in the episode, was when I was in Utah, it was the first time I've seen a black person do a double take when seeing me. Like, I was walking down the street, he looked at me, he was like, "What?" He was like, "Hey," I was like, yeah, I know.
I know that man was like, please stay.
My sort of racist joke about Utah is the first time I went was the first time I saw an all-white TSA staff. I was like, not one black person works in this airport?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I felt uncomfortable. I need some lady telling me, get your fucking computer out your bag, man.
Come on.
Why have you never been to a fucking airport before? Let's move.
Man, I love when you could tell, like, it's like, oh, I caught them after the dumbest group of people because they are activated.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay,
You're like, lady, I'm a pro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm higher than anyone in this airport right now, and I'm holding my laptop and iPad. I know exactly what I'm doing. Everything's hidden. Everything's Gucci. Let's go. I even take my baby wipes out of my bag now because it's been triggering the machine so many times.
My makeup wipes too.
Yeah.
Like, it's makeup wipes, but now we get stuff for all the Magic the Gathering cards we have. They're like, what is this? I'm like, they're Magic cards. They're like, can you take them out? I'm like, I guess.
Well, I hate when they go,
I'm not checking these. This is a fucking type 2 rare.
But like, what I hate is when they're like, we seen a brick. Like, don't say it like that, dog. You're right.
It's only cocaine in here.
Yeah, dog, I brought it through.
I thought I would just go this route with it. Yeah.
Meeting some Colombians later. They gotta make it a delivery. But yes, so let us. We're gonna jump into our next question, which is she. 22 female, used to ghost me, 23 male, for days and return like nothing happened, and new people quietly appearing in the story. How do you tell the difference between overthinking and recognizing a pattern that keeps repeating? This is already so enigmatic. I'm excited.
Oh, it's mad confusing. I'm into it. Now, real quick, so these aren't people asking you to this.
No,
the first one was an actual, and then these are you pulling from the Reddit relationship
advice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I was in love with someone. From the beginning, I saw a pattern. She would vanish for days without a word. This happened 4 times in 6 months. Each time she came back as if nothing occurred with no explanation. 3 months in, I told her subtly that I do not like being ghosted. I said I would not stay where things felt off. She heard me, but later vanished again. Before we met for a date at a church, she told me she felt very attracted to a random stranger and would be thinking of him for days. It was difficult to hear. On our second date, we met a person we both knew a little. While we talked, she became a little touchy with him. That same night, she followed him on Instagram. She did not message me after the date to ask if I'd reached home safely. Neither responded to my message as well. The next week, our text felt disconnected. The last day was a Sunday during her semester break. She had no work or classes. I texted her early in the morning. She replied after nearly 7 hours. When I answered, she took another 6 hours to respond. That night, I ended the connection. She told me I was acting like a child, that my reasons were not real, and that I could not communicate. Then she blocked my friends and me on all social media messaging and apps. Later, she also unfollowed the person from the church date. I saw her once after that. I said hello. She only nodded and did not speak. Sometime later, she unblocked my number, but never sent a message. What I still struggle to understand is this. How do you tell the difference between overthinking and recognizing a pattern that keeps repeating? Dog, like, unless she's a superhero, I don't know why she keeps disappearing. Like a sleeper agent spy.
Now that I know that these aren't people writing to you, I could say, bro, you're overthinking, bro, move on.
Yeah.
You're overthinking, and also, how do you know that she unblocked your number? So what did you do to make her stop talking to you?
Well, that's the other thing that, like, I think people overthink, and this is, again, from the old man perspective. I think because texting lets you, like, reread stuff and don't have context, and it's not easy to get immediate follow-up on, like, clarity or anything like that. I think it lets people spiral. I think some people like that. I think they love to overanalyze text. Like, I've seen groups of friends read texts from their partners to each other and be like, what the fuck? Or from potentials to each other. Like, what the fuck does he mean by this?
Yeah.
And I feel like one thing I don't hear in this guy's write-up is, so when I finally saw her, I said, hey, what's going on? I'm not necessarily upset about it, but if I need, as what I want out of this relationship is you just to clarify what's going on when you disappear for a few days. If you want to say, like, I'm a type of person that needs a few days where we don't communicate, in the modern times, I'm learning you're allowed to ask for whatever you want. You're also allowed, the person's allowed to go like, that's too much for me.
Or, exactly. And I think that's the thing is, like, everyone is so afraid of that outcome that you just said, like, when he goes 3 months in, I told her subtly. Like, one, you waited 3 months. Right. Two, what do you mean subtly? Like, did you go like, yeah, man, I don't like being ghosted? And then she made you mad by being like, I hear you. Me too.
Well, and I think too, when he's like, oh, she didn't have any work and she doesn't have any classes, I was like, just because you are not busy does not mean you are available.
Yeah.
Yes, no, and also, like,
especially if she works and goes to school, leave her alone. She's probably masturbating in her tub. Like,
or she has a healthy relationship with her phone and put it down for 3 hours.
I know.
And that's the other issue. Like, text used to be
9 cents a piece.
Well, it used to be like, I'll text you on the night or the weekend.
Yeah.
Free nights and weekends. But there's also an element of, like, text used to be like, here, I wanted to give you some info.
Yeah.
Respond when it makes sense for you. Yeah. And now there's an element of, like, if you text someone and they don't write you back, especially now that you know, like, when your homie doesn't write you back, but then when you're with them, they're always on their phone. You want to be like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Carl, get back. Although he's actually good at getting back.
Yeah. I feel like also, ADHD is a huge element in that.
Well,
there's so many times I've come back to a text box where I'm like, damn, I didn't hit send on that.
Yeah. Oh, but for sure.
I did that to someone I was dating. I think I told you, where I went to send a text when we were at Sketchfest. And then I was like, oh, it's weird that I haven't heard back from him. And then I looked down, I was like, oh, fuck, it's been sitting there for weeks. I'm like, I'm so sorry. He was like, it's fine, I just figured something out.
It's a modern problem to, like, it's very easy to overanalyze this stuff. And also, if you're dating someone and it's less than 3 months in, they're allowed to have 3 to 4 days of privacy. Yeah. It's like not until you're, like, partners or living together where you go, like, now you're not really allowed to disappear for 3 days without, like, just letting me know.
Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think you're beholden to tell someone like if she's going like every week, or they are going every weekend to go do something and not reaching out to you while they're there because they are hanging out with friends, hanging out with another person they're dating, hanging with, like, they don't owe it to you yet.
Like that Lady Gaga song, Telephone.
Also,
I'm in the club. I don't have my phone.
This feels like someone who's like, does she know you on a date? Like this, because to me, it's like, this feels like someone who just is assuming a date's happening when it's not really happening.
Also, the first thing is, I was in love with somebody, but this type of behavior clearly bothers you. So are you in love with them or just obsessed with them?
No, I think that's the thing. I think this is a thing where this person was like so into this person, and maybe she wasn't.
Or just a little into it.
Yeah. Or also, like, you know, the big thing. I don't know if the youths are doing this, but the big problem I think for our generation is like someone would be like, "Hey, let's hang out," and what they mean is a date, but they won't say date because hang out is safer. But then you get a bunch of people who's like, "Oh, I didn't know we were on a date.
Right.
You said let's hang out." So I'm always just like clear, like, yo, I want to take you out.
Yeah, because early in our polyamory, people would be like, "Oh, let's hang out," and we'd have to like talk to each other and be like, "Well, this is what they said. What do you think this means?"
Yeah.
Until we get there, we don't fucking know.
Then we learn you could just be like, "Yo, is this platonic or romantic?" It's like, "Oh, great, thanks for asking."
Wow, I'm so glad you asked, because you were going to be let down either way. We're gonna, if we miss a line here, it's going to be scary. You guys roll up all fucking latexed out, and they have like Cheez-Its.
That's like when I hung out with one of my now best friends when we were starting to be friends. I'm like, "Yo, you asked me to go do this thing. What is the vibe? So I can just know what to come into." And he was like, "Oh my God, no, please." He's like, I'd be way more nervous. And I was like, "Great." And now we are best friends.
Oh yeah, it's great. It truly is, like, you know, just kind of being direct, but it just, so there seems to be a disconnection here, because for this to have lasted as long as it did, like, and there being like no explanation, because like even like people like who are like disinterested or something would try and at least have an excuse.
Under 3 months feels a little crazy to be.
Well also like
he's 23.
But,
right. Well, that's like the real thing. And
because he said 4 times in 6 months, and it's like, but also it's like, what do you mean by vanishing? Like what, like explain? Like I would love for you to explain what you mean.
And if you can't look someone that you're dating in the eyes and go like, "Hey, where were you for 4 days?"
Yeah,
whatever the vanish means, and they can't respond, and likewise they can't respond, then this is not like a real relationship.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to be able to have that. And the answer could be, "It's really not any of your business. I don't want to share that yet." And then you can go like, "Well, that's not for me."
Yeah, and if you see people in her stories, it doesn't necessarily mean it's romantic, but it does mean that she's fucking busy.
Right. Yeah. She's doing stuff, obviously. Yeah.
So now, because this is so light, I went into the comments to try and get like any type of information.
Oh, it's even scarier, because it's like, you don't need it to have any fucking experience to tell people what Cadillac to buy. Like every thread is just like.
Because we always try and be like, this is the information that we have, so we're going to be non-biased overall.
Yeah, I try,
The comments are not like that.
No. Because
like, she's a whore. Yeah, exactly. You're like, "Thanks, bud."
She's fucking your brother.
But this one's pretty solid. It goes, "Seems pretty obvious to me that she's not into you. You said you were in love with her, so you know how it feels to want to be around her, communicate, etc. You would not ghost her and block her if it was the other way around. It seems like you're a nuisance to her. You should stop wasting your time with this person who does not value you whatsoever." And he replies, She was so much into me during the beginning stages. In fact, she was the one who initiated the conversation with me. She used to always initiate conversations with me when I was a little nonchalant at the beginning stages.
Yeah, and now you're being weird.
Later on, I even started enjoying chatting with her and initiated chats. I also started showing signs I was interested in her later on.
It's him. He's the problem.
With me, I'm like, were y'all actually dating? Or because what do you mean initiating conversation? You mean talking to someone?
So frequently when I'm talking to my actual friends, and they're like, I'm not trying to gender this too much, but it's frequently from women, but I hear it from guys too, where they're like, well, I just don't know like what's going on, because like we hung out twice, then we didn't talk for a month, then we hung out twice. I'm like, did you ask him what's going on?
Yeah,
because you're asking me, and I wasn't there.
Yeah, and I'm like, and this is not an excuse, But sometimes dudes need to be like talked to like they're a dog, and you just need to be like, "Hey, what you're
Sometimes
doing?"
they prefer that.
Yeah. Put the leash on. Sometimes you just need to be looked in the eye and go, "Hey, what you did kind of bothered me. Can you explain yourself?" And then you're like, "Oh, of course, it's actually not malicious at all." But you can easily spiral out the intents. Like she followed someone on Instagram that she met that night. That is how social media works. Like that is like what is social media is about. It's like, oh, we met in real life. The amount of people I come home and go, oh shit, yeah, this is that friend that a friend of a friend that I met. Oh, follow back. They were cool.
I can't.
Also, how you learn more about someone in general.
Right.
Do they have friends? Are they weird?
You unlocked the side rant too, because one thing I just need to die in 2026 or something is the like hall monitoring of partners of who they follow on Instagram and stuff. Like there was someone who
That's crazy. I don't.
There was someone.
It's not worth it.
There was someone who I'll tell you off the stream, but like she was like. I like if it was something like it's a red flag if your partner is following hot models, you know, online or something. I was like,
I'm sorry, are you not also following hot models?
No, like because they see them as competition.
Wait,
like,
someone that we know said this?
No, someone we know of. And then I like, and it was, and then like I also know who the partner is. I was like, I know bro got a burner. I know bro definitely got a burner. Like you just ain't seen that account.
Yeah.
Because I know this guy ain't on regular.
That's a grown up. You have to have this kind of grown up attitude about it because it is sort of like there's a way to look at like and not to objectify models, but like if you followed like gorgeous beach shots, you know what I mean? It's like it's something that is nice to look at.
Yeah.
And maybe it gets you it's like. All he follows is food accounts. Does he want to fuck that like tempura?
That's why I follow tempura accounts. But also, I think that like a lot of people are so insecure, and that's really what it is. However, hot Instagram models, just like strippers, aren't trying to fuck your ugly ass boyfriend.
Right? Yeah.
They're just not.
Now, if your partner is constantly, if the person is constantly in the DMs of someone trying to get something popping off, that's a fully different story.
Look, I think it's totally fine and normal for you to just look at hot people online, and like sometimes you'll be looking at, they'll look at a thing and be like, ooh, I think it'd be hot if we like did something like this,
or like
to me, it's always been like, I don't get why you like this bugs you so much.
And I know that's true because if he's like, look at this lady with giant bastonkis I just followed.
I was always saying worse shit than me.
I sometimes do set. Also, maybe you want to edit this part out. I'm not sure.
I
also do send if he posts it. I'm like, send this to your weird chat with Gabrus and Carl.
She found out about our muscle chat.
And I'm like, oh, look at this giant buff woman. Here, send this to everybody.
It's like, yep, I was going to. But all right.
You do not have to edit that part out. For my sake. I think I would say, of course, growing up like in the 80s and 90s, like the jealousy thing is there. It's like it's almost trained into you of like
exactly
because and then you get to a point where you go like, oh, what if I didn't feel jealousy?
Yeah,
and then you like let go of that and you're like, well, now my partner just has like cool friends that I'm not care about that they are a handsome rich guy. Like, and then all of a sudden when you free yourself of that, you're like, I've been looking at the world wrong this whole time.
Well, that's why it's so funny because it's like when you see that happen in like their partners, like, you know, an accountant or so. I feel like accountant or like just like a regular, you know, job. I was like, oh, you're not built to be dating any actor or comedian who are constantly surrounded by hot people. And I have to be I feel like early in my career, those early relationships. I remember I had a scene with in Comedy Bang Bang and Zoe Jarman where I had to kiss her, and I remember I told my partner at the time, and they were like, "What?" And I was like, I cannot explain to you more how little Zoe Jarman either probably thinks of me or wants to ever kiss me. Like
also,
it's like work. It's like you don't remember every spreadsheet you made. Yeah. You don't remember all your spreadsheets. You don't remember every it's not. it doesn't hit like that. Yeah.
Also, we were talking about in the last episode, I'm like, it's okay to be jealous. It's not okay to hold on to that jealousy and not look inward about why you feel that way.
And that's also, that's such a great, rich thing to say. Like, you're allowed to experience that feeling and then think about why, you know?
Because, it could be a valid thing, right? Where it's like, oh, the reason I hate that you're following these hot, accounts is like, I feel
one
like
of them killed my family.
Yeah. Or you're always on your phone when we're hanging out. Yeah.
Or it's like, you don't really compliment me. Like, I can see how that can...
Yeah, you put fire, you responded to everybody's stories with fire emoji.
But then you... Oh my God. I remember when there was a moment where, like, for some reason on Instagram, it wasn't letting you give the fire reacts. And I was like, dog, I need this.
Can't do hard eyes. That's too real.
Yeah. Well, I was like, this is
like... I look like that.
This is like the greatest, like, pulse check option is sending a fire emoji based on what you get back. You're like, oh, you are into me or not. Like, as much as you
I did send one to Gabrus about his toes, so I don't know what that says about me.
We all got our things.
Yeah. We don't kink shame.
For this, I think that for me, I try and use my texting, my iMessage, like AIM. Where I'm like, yeah, I can see that you're messaging me, but you also see that my do not disturb is on, and that is letting you know that
that's my away message.
But I am busy.
Yeah. I think also if we alleviate ourselves of like this is something. These are things that in my older age, it's stuff I've started doing. Is when I see someone, and maybe I've met a couple of times in my life, I say, hey, Jon Gabrus. And they're like, we've met before. I'm like, let's just eliminate the trying to remember each other's names.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of that. Let's just eliminate feeling jealousy towards each other. Let's just eliminate how come they haven't written back to me yet. Let's free both of ourselves in this friendship of like, if I don't give a fuck that Iffy takes forever to write back, I don't feel the pressure to write back to Iffy every time. And it's freeing for both parties. So that's why I'm constantly like, hey, I'm Jon Gabrus. They're like, I know. I'm like, just say this. I'm setting the precedent that we can introduce each other every time we see each other. And it's so that way I'm not stressed about, do they remember me? They just acted like they didn't even know who I was. Like, eliminate all the shit because I'm constantly trying to eliminate that spiral that I know I can do, that I know other.
I think about this a lot too, because we're in a business of like, kind of like, constantly being around so many people, constantly knowing folks, and we are constantly evaluating our value to our friends, right? Because so much is going on, and so many of our friends see each other more, or they're like, if you're
on the road for 10 days and your boys are all hanging out, it activates
so
also.
Easy.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think there's like an element where I've learned to kind of release it and not be as hurt, because 9 times out of 10, when you actually do like go like, hey man, I just want to say this, and you go, oh, I didn't even know that. I just thought you were busy,
Bro, and I think the reason I keep saying old age is because like the more you can zoom out and be like, the 600 times that I felt this feelings, I was wrong or was unnecessary. Yeah. And now I'm in my mid 40s, and I'm just not going to allow my brain to waste. I'm not going to open up that tab in my browser.
You're just giving yourself anxiety.
Right. And then I want to free other people from that experience too. So like, I'll always just like tell my friends, I'm like, you can cancel on me. You can like, do not feel pressure to hang out with me. Like, you can.
I better not be on my way there. But other than that,
with like a 4-hour heads up, you can cancel on me. Yeah. Like, you do not like. I want that to. I don't want anyone to feel pressure about me.
Yeah.
And then I hope in hoping that you don't feel any pressure from me, and I don't feel any pressure from you, and then we're free from that. And I think you could do that with partners. It's so easy to do with like in dating too.
Honestly, probably more important.
Yeah. Because you're allowed to go after your homie of 20 years and be like, what the fuck, man?
I'm gonna kill you.
But yeah, we're gonna close out with this one. That one's pretty clear. Hell yeah. And
we did it. We solved it.
I, 28 male, have been told that friends are less interested in spending time with my 27 female fiance because she monopolizes the conversation. How to proceed? My fiance and I have a nice group of other couples that we're still friends with. Sometimes it feels like we can be on the edge of the group, and I've wondered if this may be due to personality issues. I'm heartbroken to hear this, though admittedly not surprised. My fiance tends to go into sharing mode, where she is excited to tell people about her work, daily life, or childhood/college stories. She's excited to share with others, but when this happens, it is hard to get a word in, and I myself sometimes feel like I'm being talked at rather than talked to. In these moments, she doesn't usually ask questions about the other person, and if they do manage to chime in, she usually quickly finds something relevant to say and brings the subject back to her. Well, I recently proposed a double date, and it was met with a less than excited response. When approaching my friend about it one-on-one, he confided that his wife likes spending time with me, but can find it difficult to be around my fiance because she monopolizes the conversation. And since they are both girls, my friend's wife feels obligated to spend time with my fiance. My fiance is the most important person to me, and I want her to both be able to have meaningful friendships on her own, as well as for us to have good relationships with other couples. I worry that this sentiment might be shared by others in the friend group that haven't felt comfortable bringing it up. In the past,
for sure, yes.
When I have brought it up, she gets noticeably upset and talks about how she has childhood trauma of being told she talks too much and had trouble making friends. How can I bring it to her attention that her friends of ours feel like she monopolizes the conversation? I'd like to support her to improve so that we can both continue building good relationships with each other and our friends.
Ooh, not envious of this is a difficult situation to be
but
in.
I think it's exactly right what you said. You have the conversation. I think that, it's natural to be like, hey, I have trauma of talking too much, and it's like, great, but you are,
right.
in a softer way.
Talk about it.
I think in a softer way, but I think it's like,
I think it's like one of these work through your trauma.
Exactly.
And with a professional, maybe with a couples therapist, or something like that too.
Because I think about this a lot too, because, I have ADHD, which we get that, some of us have that fun loadout of being like, am I talking too much? So naturally, even when I'm oversharing, I get to a point of being like, hey, so, I try and include people in. And I think
honestly, because I'm in the same boat as you, I think truly, dozens of years of improv training helps too. Because you're the scenes are better if I listen. The scenes are better if someone else talks. And then you're in real life and you're like, I've been talking too much. I'm hogging the stage. Yes. Talk to me.
Also, it feels like this person might be neurodivergent and does not realize.
Yes.
And so I think that for that, it's like, I just have to look at this situation differently.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think it is worth talking about, because I think if it's so much of a thing that everyone's like, because it's so funny, because it is an interesting thing to walk, because sometimes I'll be hanging and someone's like, they were monopolizing that, and I was like, you weren't saying nothing,
right?
Because I think there's an element where people who are like, if someone's talking, I will not say anything. It's like, no, cut me off, dog. In the same way where I jumped in because we shouldn't need a referee to have a conversation,
right?
So in the same way that something I said, did it. Made something you said made me think of something. You can too be like, oh great, or so that it's kind of that's why I'm like, it's
really hard.
Yeah.
And we're professional communicators.
Yeah.
That's what we do for a living.
Exactly.
Is communicate, is talk fake on stage, talk real on podcasts, talk real with every single job interview you have so it's a complicated world to be in, because then when we're all together, every one of us is conversation monopolizers, but we also know to give it up and share the wealth. And there's a reason I want to hang out with Iffy. It's not so he hears everything I say. I'm not just trying to get all my... And I think that's a headspace that you have to get into. And it's with neurodivergence and all the stuff that's going on, any of that stuff, it's an extra layer of work you have to do.
Yeah.
But at some point down the road, this is going to be hard now, but at some point down the road, your fiance, eventually your wife, will say well, thank God we fixed that, because that's gonna be a long running issue.
Now I know to pause.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I know to ask questions. You know what I mean?
Because she probably doesn't realize.
Also, what can help too is there are people in our lives who just has that energy. Is you can be said referee. So if you are having a conversation and you're noticing your wife is going all in, and you can be
Great
like,
point. How do you feel?
Yeah, right.
Exactly, because it works every time.
That's funny you said that because Rick works at
exactly.
right, like
And like I've never seen that go wrong.
No.
I've never seen someone get this because usually when you doing that, it I think it communicates like, oh yeah, let me give this other person a chance.
You know what
to
I
talk.
have seen gone wrong? Touching someone's thigh to be like, slow down. That no one likes that shit. I don't want to hear it. No one else wants to hear it. That's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe in the prep on the car ride over, be like, hey, don't forget, like let them fucking go off a little. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, just so you know, Annie's really excited about this thing, so maybe before we start talking about our shit, we should be asking her about this.
Yeah. But I think it's a pretty
But no one wants to hear, it's very hard to hear that, oh, people have said that I'm annoying or too much or I don't communicate correctly. That's very hard. That's very difficult to hear.
Yeah.
But it's very important. But the thing is, again, the other advantage we have is like the world you come up in is like a director or a coach would be like, hey man, you talk way too fucking much. That's you're like, noted.
Yeah, got it.
And also amongst our friends, you'd be like, this motherfucker never shuts up.
Yeah, you will get roasted.
I do like talking to other people with ADHD and neurodivergence because, like how we all talk to each other, it's like, oh, yeah, let me talk to that, say that thing, and then we just go right back to the other thing we were talking about.
Well, yeah, and the amount of times I stood with someone and be like, how did we start talking about this? And they were like, I asked you about your trip. I'm like, yes, the trip.
Exactly.
The trip was great, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry we got sidetracked.
I know. But yeah, no, that's all you really need to do. Good luck on that conversation, though, because it can go either way.
If you're in couples therapy, that's a great place to bridge that.
Yeah.
Or something to throw out there. And like, I know this might be difficult for you. You previously told me you had trauma. Again, I'm giving their advice like they're listening, but you previously told me you had trauma.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, you previously told me you had trauma. So maybe if you had trauma about anything else, we'd be working through it so that you could put it behind you.
Because even if you don't want to mention this currently, you could mention, hey, I know you said you had this trauma. We've been working on this other shit. I think we should bring this up to figure out how this can help, like, get over it, even if it wasn't a problem.
Right, yeah, because if someone's carrying trauma, it's very important to work through it.
Yes.
Whether it's something fucking insanely awful or I've been told I talk too much my whole life. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, or they put me in the front of the class because I wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was like my parents found my desk in Siberia. It was facing the corner when they came to a parent-teacher conference in like third grade. And they were like, whose desk is that? They're like, that's Jonathan's. And my mom's like, what's it doing over there? It's like, he disrupts the class too much. And my father, who never has my side and is always on the teacher's side, was like, you put my fucking son facing the wall?
You're like, oh shit.
And they were like, what? He's like, you can't do that to a kid. I don't care what his behavior is. It's not like I'm hitting and fucking biting people.
Yeah.
I'm just
Goofing.
I'm just too smart for the class.
Yeah,
It's third grade. It's easy.
Come on.
I was 21.
All right, y'all. Well, look, that's all we have for this week. Gabrus, is there anything you want to promote before we get out of here?
Yeah, I have a podcast. It's a Patreon podcast where we talk about action movies called Action Boys. You can get that at actionboys.biz. And I have a free podcast called Staying Alive, wherever you get podcasts. And there'll be plenty more shit. So follow me on social media, but I'm assuming I'll be in the collab posts about this.
Yeah, of course. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. I'll see you later.